Hi, this is Odeean. Today I'm having a look at SiFi Revoltech Mothra. This figure was released in 2010, I think, and it's actually my only Revoltech. Revoltechs haven't really done that much for me, but nothing against them, just don't own any others. You can see the box that it comes in here is a pretty nice display box. It's kind of bookend, so you can open it up like this to see the toy inside, as well as all the movie info over here written in Japanese. On the back of the box, we have an explanation of all the details. So let's get Mothra open and have a look at what's inside. The most important part in the package obviously is the Mothra figure herself, and that's done really nicely. You can see the paint detail on the wings here is really, even though it's animal markings, it's very crisp and deliberate. There's no overspray. It's kind of precision work. If you listen to the wings here, you can hear that they're a hard plastic, so it does look almost organic, or if not organic, kind of rubbery, like a vinyl, maybe like a Bandai America figure, but this is not the same kind of thing. Those wings, as I've just showed you, are pretty posable, so they're individually mounted. You've got a big range that they can spread apart. I don't know if that's a natural ability for a butterfly or a moth, but it does let you have some degree of posability. They don't have any significant pivot up and down like that, but again, I don't know if that would be natural. The texturing in the sculpt is very finely done, and I mean, although you can see like a bit of a seam line there, a mold seam, the fuzziness of the fur sculpt is pretty good. It goes all the way around onto the back. So if you look at the wings here, you've got that fuzzy, hairy kind of sculpt. Mothra is a very fuzzy, hairy moth in the movies, and they've tried to stick pretty closely to what it's supposed to look like. The eyes are also nicely done. There's a shiny piece of see-through plastic covering up a sort of turquoise chromed backing, which gives it the little bug eye look with all the little dots behind it. It's pretty nice. A lot of fine detail, like these antennae and the little legs at the side, little mandibles at the side of the face. I think that's what you call them. Even the mouth has that kind of split, how Mothra opens the mouth sideways, although it feels like it would open, but it may actually be glued in that position, so if I push it any harder than that, I'm worried that the mouth is going to break off. But all around, it's a pretty accurate representation of Mothra. I have another version of Mothra, which is the Bandai America version, and here it is here, and you can see there's a little bit of scale difference here. This Mothra is to a bigger scale, but it looks, honestly, the quality of this guy looks far, far worse, but it is a vinyl figure, not a kind of collectible hard plastic piece like this. But just having a quick look at this guy, I'm not going to even tell you how many inches this is, because I've seen it described in so many different measurements that I don't know what's accurate. So what I'm going to do is just show this guy on the ruler. From wingtip to wingtip, 10 inches. So I'm going to call it 10 inches, but that's not what it was labelled when I bought it. So I don't know what this is officially labelled as. But it is one of the only other Mothras that's still available, readily available in this approximate size. So, you know, it's a nice little piece, but it mainly looks good with other vinyls. Okay, putting Mothra here aside, the other reason I got this Revoltech is because I had my Batra, which I've shown before. I don't have a moth version, like the flight version of Batra, but these guys are kind of, I don't know, would you call them brother and sister? Kind of enemies, but working on for the same power, if you know what I mean. Both in defense of the Earth, just in different ways. I needed a Mothra to go with my Batra. Okay. The only other scale shot I want to show is with Mothra versus S.H.Monsterarts Godzilla. So it's not a bad size. A little bit, perhaps a little bit too small. It's hard to say. Mothra has been depicted at kind of varying sizes, so has Godzilla. So I'm not too unhappy with the scale here, although I really hope that one day we get a Monsterarts Mothra. That kind of brings up the crux of why people have to buy this Revoltech. So just before Monsterarts came out, there was no Monsterarts, there were just a bunch of vinyls, and we started getting different kaiju from Revoltech. So I think there's a Gamera, there's this Mothra, a few things from Ultraman, I think, and they were looking pretty good. And back in the day, when there was nothing else available, this seemed like it might be the best version of kaijus that we're going to get. But as it turned out, it never progressed all the way up to Godzilla, and Monsterarts was born. So the whole line was a little bit cancelled. So it's not like collecting this Mothra is going to help you finish a whole kaiju collection of Revoltechs, because I don't think that's ever going to happen. But in the meantime, just while we're waiting for a Mothra from S.H.Monsterarts, it's a pretty good stand-in. The set comes with all the pieces you can see here. So straight away we've got this little box, often comes with Revoltechs I hear, and a coin, pretty useless to me, so I just put them out of the way. We get this base and a little factory, or maybe this is based off a real building under the Tokyo Tower. I'm not 100% sure on Japanese architecture, but anyway, that plugs in there, and our little tower goes in over the top. A lot of people seem to think this is a broken Eiffel Tower. No, it's not Eiffel Tower. It's Japanese, no Eiffel Tower in Japan. But it looks similar. In front of that we can put the little explanation, given that I can't read that. Again, another useless piece for me. We also get this cocoon. Here's a close-up look of that. Textured. It's got this little section here where Mothra may have hatched out, and quite inexplicable to me is this hole. So we get a plug to fill it in like this if we want, but I'm not really sure why this hole is here to begin with. Maybe Mothra bored her way out. I don't get it, but anyway, it just plugs on a little bit firmly to the back like that, and Mothra's cocoon is on the side of the tower. Now we also get this stand to hold Mothra up if we want to plug it. I think it goes in here. Where does it go? No, it goes in the back here. So Mothra can be displayed on this piece using that stand. Connecting the segments of Mothra's body are Revoltech joints. Given that it's a Revoltech, no great surprise there. Very hard to see in there, but if we just grab these two sections and carefully pull it apart, you can get a better look at our little Revoltech joint in the middle. Now, to display it, all you got to do is pop one side there, reconnect the joint, and there we go. Got to fiddle with it just a little bit to make it look right. Maybe the wings up a bit more. My final thoughts on Revoltech Mothra. It looks pretty nice. Doesn't go for that much. I think I got this for $42 shipped, which is pretty low in the scheme of Japanese monsters. That was a few months ago. I've got no idea what it is right now. I guess it's gone up a little bit given that it's getting older. It's a good figure, but not fantastic. It does have durability where it's required. So I've bent all of these little bits occasionally by accident, and they haven't snapped off yet. I don't know how many times they can take it, but the problem I get is that it doesn't pose well on this base. Pretty much this is the only way to show it, how I've got it right here. And also it's a bit finicky, so you can see that the bit that joins the stand on just comes apart. The wings, given that they're on Revoltech joints also, they pop off, and the head is pretty good, but it can also pop off. So it really can disintegrate, and as I mentioned before, I don't have tons of Revoltechs. Maybe that's just par for the course with Revoltech. I don't know, but I don't like the ease at which this back section separates. I think that it's a nuisance and it makes it really hard to pose on the stand. I also think that it's not quite flexible enough, given that Revoltech have the Revoltech joint. I would have liked more ability to bend over. Like, that's as much as it can curl up. Like, it can extend that much and then curl up that much. I wanted it to sort of curl forward more so that it could be in this wing flapping pose where the head would be looking down. But as you can see, the head can't look down when it's got its wings out like that. And that's how I want my Mothra versing Godzilla in this, because it uses the wing flapping to flap that magic dust. So if her head's looking up, if her eyes are pointed up, it kind of defeats the whole point of doing that. I'm actually pretty surprised that we haven't had a Monsterarts Godzilla. Monsterarts Mothra. And I suspect it's got something to do with licensing, because Mothra is a very popular kaiju. There are loads of Mothra collectible items. So for them to actively choose not to produce it seems a little bit weird. Maybe it's got to do with the demographic. But I'm holding out hope that we will get one. And until that time, this is a pretty good stand-in, especially at the price. So I can recommend it. I just hope for something better. Anyway, this has been my video review for SiFi Revoltech Mothra. I'm odeean, and thanks for watching. Mothra, yeah, Mothra, da 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 da. This Mothra is not actually my Mothra. I gotta tell you, I pinched it for this review. This comes straight from my daughter's toy room. My daughter is a Mothra fan, and she loves Mothra movies, just the standalone Mothra movies. She likes to do the dance, to sing the song. I wish I had a couple of good fairy toys. That would really be something I want in my collection, but unfortunately, the ones that are available pretty much suck. Anyway. Thanks for watching again.